going in our mapping of Africa. First, let me take my intro. Oh, great. And happy International Women's Day. Yes, it's it's a great one to have women, wonderful women, who we cannot do without. Women as mothers, women as mentors, women as sponsors, women as pastors. We have them all around us. So happy International Women's Day to all our women and those who are playing critical role, even our daughters. We have women all around us. So happy International Women's Day. Great. Okay, let's do our intro.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Olusola Ajide, your host on the Mentors Show, where we inspire you, help you reinvent yourself, and to make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. We mentor people across Africa. We bring you guests with inspiring life stories who are themselves transformation agents, making a positive change in their profession and nations. Subscribe to the African Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yep. I need to stop this replay. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. No, don't look again. So it's a great one. Tonight we'll continue our series. Like you know, I'm your host on this show, Dr. Olusola Ajide, and you know how it is. On the Mentor Show is a show where we inspire you. It's a show where we help you reinvent yourself and give you ideas of how to make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. And we bring you guests who are trailblazers, who are doing great things in their own sphere of influence. And aside bringing you guests who are doing great things, we also bring this day, like today, we had one last week, and today we're having a second one this year, mapping what we call mapping Africa's natural resources. And that is where we look at country by country on the continent of Africa, and we look at the resources that are there in those countries, and we try to now make a way for us to look at opportunities that we can maximize, opportunities where you as a person can step in and be a solution. Don't forget, I keep asking the question on this show, why were you born? You need to answer that question of why were you born? Because it is as you answer the question of why you were born that you will discover purpose. And perhaps, well, not even perhaps, I'm sure of it, most of the problems we are looking at in the countries, good evening, Official Godwin, most of the problems we are looking at in the countries on the continent of Africa, you were born to be a solution to them. Official Godwin, Michael, you were born to be a solution to some of the problems on the continent of Africa. And that is why we keep showing up every time, bringing guests on the show and having this session of mapping the resources, looking at the resources that we have on the continent of Africa. Oche, David, good evening. So the key question remains, have you discovered why you were born? Why were you born, Oche David? Why were you born? What problem were you born to solve? And that's what we keep discussing and keep hammering on. Today we are looking at Equatorial Guinea, with the country, the capital of the city in Malabo. So we are mapping Equatorial Guinea. But like you keep saying, the challenges that exist in any country that we look at, you can map it. You can look at a tangent or a corollary or a correlation in your own country, where you were born and where you reside and where you grew up, or where you are residing currently, or where you are. So it's important that we look at Africa and you discover why you were born, and we begin to fulfill that purpose of your existence. For us, by the grace of God, our coming on the show, showing up every week is part of the reason why we were born. We're born to steer you up. Of course, we have other things to do regarding the continent, yes, but this is one of it. To come up like this every week, to steer you up, to make you realize that you were born for a purpose, to make you realize that you were born to solve a problem, and to help you, and that's why we bring you all those things we are bringing, to help you discover the problem you were born to solve, and begin to think of, okay, so how do I go about solving this problem? How do I go about solving this problem? How do I go about, getting the required skill to go about solving the problem? And maybe I should just start to just tell you, see, one of the things why I wanted to be, to get a doctorate, which by the grace of God I'm able to get, is because I know that I'm born to solve the problem of ignorance. I know I'm born to solve the problem that has to do with teaching and education. You see? So, and that's one of the reasons why I felt, what is required? What do I need to do to be able to fulfill that purpose? Is the reason why I had to trust God, and He made it possible for me to study to get a PhD. So it's important, and that's the reason why I give that, not to blow, is not to impress you, or just to impress upon you the fact that you need to discover your purpose, and you need to know what are the things you need to be able to fulfill that vision, to begin to work and find a way of fulfilling that vision. I hope that is clear. I hope you understand where I'm coming from and the reason why I gave that. So quickly tonight we'll be looking at the country of Equatorial Guinea. We are looking at Equatorial Guinea tonight. Equatorial Guinea is one of the things on this show, and I've mentioned it before, for those of you who are upcoming artists, if you have music, we can play your music on the show, at least to support you, to promote you, to give you a platform, and we can help, play your music on this show to make our show not too quiet as it is. The reason why I'm not playing music is because I don't want to get a strike. Some of the music we've been playing in time past is been, YouTube, on our YouTube channel, we'll be talking about, the issue of conflict, copyright issues. But we trust God that if you have music, your own music that you want us to play and give you platform, we'll play your music on this show. And we trust God, even ourselves, Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative, to produce our own music. And it was very strong on me today, in particular, about this, the need to press on. We've done some things, but to press on in our quest to be able to produce our own and play our own music on this show, so that we don't get, copyright strikes. It's very important, and we need to. I think we will be acting very fast to do something about that now, because we need music, and I like music, and so it's that we have. So if you have music, I know some people have sent me some music to sample in time past, which I have sampled some of this music and I've given them feedback. So if you have music, okay, yeah, send it to me. We'll look at it. We'll see, listen to it, and if you give us the permission, if it's good, we would help. Would at least use it on our show, play music, and we, we crack along, isn't it? We crack along, and we make. All right. So today we are looking at Equatorial Guinea, and we are looking at countries on the continent of Africa. Now, for those who are not Africans, you are watching this show, or you're watching a replay of this show, you need to know that Africa is not a nation. Africa is a continent, and as a continent, it has several nations that make up and there are 54 nations that make up that continent. So we have all these nations that make up the continent of Africa. So you need to know that several nations, 54 countries, make up the continent of Africa. Although some will tell you 56 because of South Sudan. South Sudan, but it's already even included in the list I have here with me. So you need to look at Dayo Greatness. Good evening, welcome to the Mentor Show. So Dayo, have you discovered why you were born? That's what I've discussed before you came online, and have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? Those are the things we've discussed, Dayo, before you came online. All right. So today we're looking at Equatorial Guinea. And Equatorial Guinea is a country located in the west coast of Africa. And it's a country that consists of, and the capital is Malabo. Malabo is the capital of this nation. And also it consists of Rio Muni on the continent and 5 islands known collectively as the Insular Equatorial Guinea. So there are also those small islands that are part of Equatorial Guinea, where they call them Bioko, Corisco, Great Elobe or Great Grande, Little Elobe, and the Anobon, which is the Pagalu, islands, as it were. They have a prime minister who is Francisco Pascual Obama Asue. That's the current prime minister. And the potential estimates of the population is 1.5 million of this country. The head of state is Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. That. So you could see from the name, you could see that this particular country, Equatorial Guinea, was colonized by Spain. Spain was the former colonialist that was in charge of this country, and they got their independence in 1968. Now, the flag of this country, you have three colors of three horizontal bars of green, white, and red, and you have a triangle of sky blue on the left-hand side, pointing towards the center, where you have something like, there's a tree and some stars, about 6 stars there. So that's this particular country. Equatorial Guinea is bordered in the north by Cameroon and in the south by Gabon, and of course, like you said, the Atlantic Ocean on the left. It's bordered by the Atlantic Ocean on the left. And of course, also we have Republic of Congo on the east, bordered by Republic of Congo on the east. So this country, what are the ethnic population of this particular country? We have what we call the Fang, the Bubi, the Yoruba. Interesting, we have Yoruba also in this country. We have the Igbo, we have the Seke, we have the Spaniard, and other. Wow. In Equatorial Guinea. Good evening, Becky. How has your day been? We are mapping Equatorial Guinea today, looking at the resources available in Equatorial Guinea. And Becky, you remember, I always ask on this show, everyone that come on the show, have you discovered why you were born? Have you discovered your purpose? Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? It's a critical question, because all the young people from the continent of Africa, we are the solution, as it were, to some of the problems that are typical and in or on the continent, in our various nations. Whatever nation you come from, we are the solution to the problems on the continent of Africa. Now, when it comes to the aspect of religion affiliation, we have majority of people in Equatorial Guinea are Catholics, Roman Catholics. We have Sunni Muslims, we have independent Christian, we have Protestant, we have traditional belief, we have 7.9% are Roman Catholics, and we have 4.1 Sunni Muslim, independent Christian 3.7, 3.2 Protestant, traditional belief is 2.1%, 4.9% are non-religious, the atheists. They don't have any affiliation to anything that has to do with any god or any being, and we have other as classified as 2.1%. Now that's the classification of this country. Now when it comes to organization, the living, there are 72.1% of people live in the urban cities, while 27.9% live in the rural areas of the country of Equatorial Guinea. So when it comes to the issue of population in Equatorial Guinea, You see, 39.1% are under 15. And this is the point I keep making on this show, and particularly when we're looking at this aspect of mapping Africa's natural resources. You see, almost 70% of people on the continent are under the age of 25. And that tells you that Africa is a new frontier. Africa has a great thing working for it. We have a lot of things working for us. It's a young, vibrant continent. A very young and vibrant continent. So we have 39.1% under 15, 27.8% under 29, between 15 and 18, 29, 17.1% under 40, that's 30 to 44, and 10.2% under the age of 59 and 59. So you now see that quite a lot of young people under 44, almost more than 60% of the nation, are under the age of 44. So, you can conclude that, of course, this nation needs a lot of, as we're going to be looking at later, about some of the educational issues, health issues, and everything. But when it comes to the issue of the importation of Equatorial Guinea, 20.5% is from United States of America. They also import from Spain, 23.5% from Spain. Other is 29. They got from China, 13.4%, Netherlands, and France. While others are 29.2%. So, and that's pretty much one of the challenges on the continent of Africa when it comes to the issue of importation. We seemingly import quite a lot of things. Ruben 09. I hope that's not my pastor. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Mentors Show. Today we are mapping Africa's natural resources. Maybe I should even show. We are looking at Equatorial Guinea today. Now, when it comes to the exports, the major export of Equatorial Guinea is China. Is part of the export to China, the export to Spain, the export to the UK, Japan, France, where Equatorial Guinea exports to. And like I keep mentioning on this show, the reason why we look at this, mapping these resources, is to look at opportunities for you and I of where you can invest, of what you can do to pivot and to financially to look at resources you could invest in that country. So this particular country, I have not mentioned, let me now go mention some of those resources that Equatorial Guinea does have. Okay. Now, the major resources of Equatorial Guinea, natural resources, are timber, petroleum, small unexploited deposits of gold, there is manganese, and there's uranium. They also do fishing, which makes up a major part of the country's resources. Fishing makes up a major part of this country's resources. So the major concern at this time in this particular country is that tap water is not potable, and so they don't have water, drinkable water. Victor Odewege, good evening. Welcome to the Mentors Show. We are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources today, and we are looking at the 17th nation in this series. Since we started, this is the 17th nation we've looked at. And you can see other sessions on my timeline. We've looked at Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, Côte d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti. Egypt was last week, and today we are looking at the 17th nation. We are mapping and looking at the resources available in Africa, and we're looking at the 17th nation today, which is Equatorial Guinea. And I've just mentioned the resources available in this country. And the reason why I mentioned earlier is that these resources available in the country are what you as a person can invest in to pivot financially. And when it comes to the issue of, like I'm going to see later, the challenges that this nation has, you are part of the solution to that problem. I keep saying, you must discover the problem you are born to solve. You must discover the problem you are born to solve. And like I mentioned at the introduction, for me as a person, part of the problem I'm born to solve is ignorance, the essence of knowledge. And that's the reason why every week we come in here, we show up to educate, if possible, entertain, like I said, if you're playing music, and to empower, to enable you to have knowledge. Because if you go back to the first three sessions I had this year, we're looking at how can you quadruple, how can you double, triple, quadruple your income this year. Go and look at the series on my timeline. We did that early in the year. Those are the first series of sessions we did. So that's to empower you, to help you to achieve and to fulfill your desire or your goals or what you want to achieve. So, okay, good. So let's look at, we've mentioned the issues about this nation and how that they got independence. The official language is Spanish, like from even the names we read out earlier. The official language is Spanish. Let's look at now the educational. Let's start with the educational system. The educational system of Guinea Republic. Because I keep saying that you and I, Matthew, how are you? You and I, we are the solution to the problem of Africa. So Matthew, have you discovered the problem you are born to solve? Have you discovered your purpose? And we are looking today at Equatorial Guinea. We are looking at the educational system in Equatorial Guinea. They have free education from 6 to 11 years old. Primary education is for 5 years, followed by 4 years of secondary school and 3 subsequent years of secondary education in the second stage. So if you mention what you can call the education system of this particular nation, Equatorial Guinea. So let's assume, for example, in 1994, about 75% pupils 75,751 attended 781. All right, Matthew, you're here to be a student, no problem. So, attended 781 primary schools with 1,381 teachers. There were 16,600 enrolled in secondary school with 588 teachers. The pupil-teacher ratio at the primary level is 43:1, which is high, even as in 1999. 79% of primary school age children were enrolled in school, while 26%. So the point we're making here is that the Equatorial Guinea's literacy rate, according to UNESCO, adult literacy is 95%. That is high. That is high. While the male literacy is 97 points and the female is 92.4. That is high. If we come, the nation that have had highest literacy since we've been considering have been Cape Verde, has been, I think, the best. And this, it means Equatorial Guinea, education-wise, is with the literacy rate at 95% is quite a feat. Good evening, E.G. Sarah. Welcome to the Mentor Show. We are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources today. And the question we ask everybody, Sarah, is, have you discovered why you were born? Have you discovered the purpose you were born to solve? And we are saying part of the purpose we are born to solve could be a solution to the challenges that are available in, for example, Equatorial Guinea. And if you're not from Equatorial Guinea, you could look at the same challenge in the country where you are from and see how you can be a solution to perhaps education. Like we're saying, if Equatorial Guinea have 95% of literacy rate, what is the literacy rate, for example, Matthew, in South Africa? We've not looked at South Africa. We're going to still come to South Africa in some many weeks from now. So what's the literacy rate in South Africa? And Sarah, what country are you joining us from? What's the literacy rate in the country where you are from? And could you be the solution to the education problem in that country? So based on the point of the fact that the quality of schooling in Equatorial Guinea, despite this high literacy rate, is still low, along with poor outcomes. So we should not be celebrating that they have high literacy rate. The quality of education is still low. And that is where you and I come in to provide education, teaching, and now leveraging, like now we are meeting online, to provide education for children, accessibility, access for children and for people to study on the continent of Africa. So education is key. And that's part of the problem that we are supposed to be coming out to find a way to solve. So there's still the challenge of poor schooling quality of schooling is still low, and there's still poor outcomes on this in this Equatorial Guinea. So more could be done when it comes to the educational structure or educational system in Equatorial Guinea. And like I keep saying, even though we are looking at Equatorial Guinea, please be looking at your own nation. Look at the nation you came from. Look at the nation you are from and see how you can be a solution to the education. What can you bring about? Can you innovate? Can you invent something new that will be a solution and a help to the people in the nation where you are from? Please consider this. E.G. Sarah, E.G.Sarah, I don't know if you are still here. What nation have you joined us from, and what issues are you pertinent and concerned about? So Sarah, talk to me while we continue. I'm waiting for you to tell me, Sarah, if you are still here, what are the issues that you are passionate about and you are concerned about? So like you know, like every other nation on the continent of Africa, the healthcare system in Equatorial Guinea, of course, you know, I wouldn't use the word comatose. You see, following the discovery of oil in 1991, the president promised investment and everything, but you see, nothing has come out of it. There are incorrect priorities in the healthcare system. There are treatable diseases that are still deadly in this country of Equatorial Guinea. You know, the lack of affordable medicine and resources for patients who are sick. So you still have diseases like malaria prevalent in Equatorial Guinea, typhoid is prevalent, sexually transmitted diseases are prevalent, diarrhea is prevalent, respiratory illnesses are still the most common disease in all these are these common diseases. And the question is, we are young people, we are the solution. So say for example now maybe Sarah, I don't know why I'm saying Sarah now, might be, go and study nursing or study pharmacy to try and see I'm going to solve the problem of health challenge in Equatorial Guinea, for example, or if not in Equatorial Guinea, in the country where you are from. To go do a particular course, a course that you do that will help you to solve a major problem in the country where you come from. So the health sector is underfunded, and there are 3 doctors per 10,000 people. Can you imagine that? 3 doctors to 10,000, the ratio 3 to 10,000. That tells you that the problem of health care in this country is comatose. And that's why I keep coming up to say, perhaps Matthew or any other person here could take the challenge to say, okay, you want to go and study medicine. I don't think if you can do that. But even if you don't go back and study medicine, you could also make money and create a healthcare system that will be able to take care of people in Equatorial Guinea or in your own country. A lot of people are dying from the continent. They cannot purchase drugs of $10 or 10 pounds. They don't have money. And that's what we are saying. That because the government has failed in providing free health care that everybody could access, could benefit from, a lot of people are dying. Some of the diseases we mentioned earlier, it's quite strange to have, good evening, sir, EBM signature. I will send you, after now, EBM signature, I will send you a DM, sir. I will send you a message. I'm going to send you a message. Today we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources. We're not having a guest today. We are looking at, I'm doing great. We are looking at mapping African resources, and we are looking at Equatorial Guinea today. We are looking at Equatorial. We have looked at Equatorial Guinea is the 17th nation that we have considered, looking at the natural resources in each of these countries and looking at the opportunities for investment in these countries and looking at the problems, which they're not actually problems, they are challenges. They are challenges, and that could be used to solve the problem. So the question I've asked everybody that come on this show is, have you discovered why you were born? Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? And are you working towards getting the skill, getting the knowledge to begin to solve the problem? And I give an example of myself. I said part of the problem I'm born to solve is the problem of ignorance. And that's why we come here every Tuesday with guests or to talk about mapping resources, to educate, to inform, empower, give knowledge that will help you to become a better version of yourself. Yeah, that's why we keep showing up. So in Equatorial Guinea, there's still the conflict between traditional and modern medicine. There's still that conflict, and it's still a problem. You see, it's still a problem. Leading to a negative healthcare outcome in this particular country of Equatorial Guinea. So this is a challenge for all of us to rise up. So maybe Mr. EBM's signature, as you make your money from those books, to start a hospital, maybe in Tanzania, or hospital in Equatorial Guinea, as we mentioned, just to be sure that we find a way of solving the problem on the continent, because, hey, 70% of the population on the continent are young people. 70% are young people. So there's a need to empower these young people. There's a need to educate these young people. And aside starting a hospital, EBM signature, maybe starting a university, because I have that dream. I have the dream of starting a university that would help provide education on the continent of Africa. I have that dream, and I gave example earlier at the introduction. I said that when I discovered that one of the things I'm called to do is to teach, is to help, is to educate, is to inform people, is the reason why I desired to go along to get a PhD, see, to enhance that purpose. Excellent, EBM signature. That is great. You said I have started a non-profit called A Masterpiece, which is empowering young youths in Africa to make them understand that they are masterpiece. Excellent. And that is it. To start something that will make people to awake and to get to know that they are unique. Good Hope Charity Initiative. Welcome. So it's marvelous. So like I said, that's why I went to acquire the knowledge of getting a PhD to help fulfill that purpose and that dream of educating, teaching, empowering people with knowledge. And that is what I'm saying. So have you discovered why you were born? Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? And if you've discovered why you were born and the problem you were born to solve, then it's now to discover what are the skills I need and how do you get those skills to help you to solve the problem that you were born to solve. So today we are looking at Equatorial Guinea. And like all the problems we have mentioned now, the problem in the health sector in Equatorial Guinea, the problem in the educational sector in Equatorial Guinea, even if you're not from Equatorial Guinea, look at it in your own country. You can be a solution in your own country. You can be a solution in your own country. So that's the fact and the point we're making. So you can see there's already a problem in the health sector. There's a problem in the education sector. Now, Equatorial Guinea has grown crops like cassava, sweet potato, oil palm fruit, plantain, bananas, coconut, coffee, and cacao. They have also sheep, they have goats, pigs, and cattle are raised. Fishing contributes to the economy as well, majorly. Timber industry is very significant, in this particular country. So, but like you rightly know, the challenge that the agricultural sector in Africa is still largely subsistence, and there's a need to mechanize, and that's where we need more engineers. We need more engineers on the continent that would bring about mechanized farming, that will bring about, high production. And we've had on this show young men like the man from Jos that is producing cars and tractors, that from Jos in Nigeria, Plateau State in Nigeria, who is creating those vehicles and those machinery to help in the agri sector. We need more people, more young people who will be engineers, who will be able to go to the foundry, who will be able to start. Well, we thank God for those who are creating vehicles like the Nostrum in Nigeria, Innocence in Nigeria. Samuel Okemiri, good evening. How are you today? Welcome to the Mentor Show. Today we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources. We don't have a guest today, but we are looking at the resources available on the continent of Africa. So, Samuel, I know you sing. Yes, I've mentioned before you came that we are looking. If you have young persons who sing, you can give us some music. We'll play the music, give you platform, even on our show here, and so you can DM me if you are interested in the offer. All right. So the agricultural sector of this particular country also, even though they export things to China and to other United States and to Japan and to other places, their export partner, of course, can do more. And that's the opportunity. That's an opportunity for yourself and myself to invest in these countries. So don't forget, why we keep looking at these countries is because opportunities are there. The challenges are opportunities. Challenges are opportunities. Challenges are avenues for progress, for development. And there's a need for us to look at this and to look at what is available and see where you can invest, where I can invest, and where we can make the place a better place. And if you are not even from Equatorial Guinea, you can look at it even in your own country and see what problem can you tackle. What social problem can you tackle? What social problem can you be a solution to? Either, and like EBM Signature told us about having a non-profit, his non-profit called the Masterpiece, which is empowering young people. And that's absolutely wonderful. Empowering young people to know that they are a masterpiece, to know that you need to don't look down on yourself, and know that know that the opportunities are there for you to be able to be a best version of yourself. And I think that for me wraps it up today. We've looked at this country. We've looked at Equatorial Guinea or the challenges or the opportunities that are there, that everyone from that nation or people out of that nation can be a solution. And if you're not from Equatorial Guinea, look at the same thing in your own country where you are from and see how you can be a solution. You were born to solve a problem. Discover the problem. Get to work and begin to solve that problem. All right. So that's us done for today. Thank you very much, everyone who has been with us on the show today. Samuel Okemiri, Ingrid, Lady Legasos, thank you. Good Hope Charity Initiative, thank you. EBM Signature, thank you. Emma B. Art, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Matthew Myla, thank you. E.G. Sarah, thank you for being with us. Victor Odewingie, thank you. Ruben O90, thank you. Becky, thank you so much. Dio Greatness, Oche David, thank you. And official Godwin Michael, thank you so much. Everyone who has been with us today will come your way again, God willing, next week with our guest as we continue on this series. Don't forget, everything we do is to ensure that you are able to pivot to the next level and become a better version of yourself. So you can be, a catalyst for development in your community, in your country, and on the continent where you are. And like EBM Signal says, you are a masterpiece. Let me borrow from him. You are a masterpiece. Thank you, everybody. So I'll see you again next week by the grace of God. Cheers. Bye.